in today's video, I thought I would share some of the most popular knit and crochet patterns out there. This list was compiled with the help of you guys. Ages ago, I asked on my Instagram for people to submit some of the patterns that they've been eyeing up that are sort of on their wish list. I compiled this list a long time ago, so I actually can't even really remember what some of these are. So this will be just as much as a surprise to me as it will be to you. Go ahead, grab a drink, maybe even grab your knit and crochet project, and let's chat some patterns. First of all, we have the Lonely Leftovers vest by Wool and Beyond. Now, I personally love a vest. I just don't love a vest with ties for myself. I feel like with a bigger chest, a tie in the middle situation isn't the most flattering. I don't know. It would kind of have to be quite oversized, but then it just kind of drowns me. I still think it looks gorgeous. I always love garter stitch. I especially love the detailing around the edges, sort of matching the bow at the front. I also find it really interesting that the back is constructed in this way. I imagine that it sort of helps the fit of the garment much more. I definitely prefer this over sort of a conventional knit vest, just because it feels more like an outerwear piece. I think the garter stitch makes something a bit more durable and a bit more like substantial, you know, so it feels more, like a gilet almost. Then someone also mentioned the Dream Cardigan by Wool and Beyond. This feels very current. I feel like the sort of fine knit cardigan with the little buttons I've seen everywhere on like H&M, Zara. I remember back in December, my sister and I went to Holland for like a weekend stay, and we went through all the different boutiques and stuff, and these types of cardigans were literally the only thing we'd ever really pick out. So this is gorgeous. I'm not always the biggest fan of like a rounded sort of pearly edge, but this looks really, really sweet around the button band here. The bottom of it is constructed really nicely as well. It's so simple, so basic, but the design is still really intriguing and different at the same time. Then someone also mentioned the Nomad jacket, also by Wool and Beyond, and this again is adorable. They did something similar where they kind of changed the top panel to the bottom panel. This has a really lovely oversized feel. Again, this feels very much like an outerwear piece, similar to the vest previously. I think because of this kind of stitch, I don't even know what stitch that is, but it is gorgeous. Does it say what that stitch is called? In honeycomb brioche. Wow, yeah, I mean, this is amazing. I love the buttons, and I also love the sort of edge around buttons. Yeah, the shape is impeccable. The sleeve size looks really, really good and chunky as well. Yeah, this looks like a kind of jacket that you'd spend an absolute fortune for in a shop. Moving on, we have the Wabisabi cardi. This is a great name for a project. This is a modern and feminine take on the classic grandpa cardigan. Comes with a loose fit, drop shoulders, crop length, extra long sleeves, fitted mock neck collar, and an interesting natural braid detailing. This all sounds amazing, all sounds straight at my alley. I like that the braid detailing was added just to change it up a little bit. I always love a dropped shoulder. I just feel like it's so flattering. It instantly creates that really nice oversized look. This seems like it's really applicable to any type of yarn, any color, changing up the buttons, making it striped, so many options. It seems like a really good basic sort of pattern to readjust however you like. I wasn't really aware of this knitwear designer, but I had another look, and there are some very cool patterns on her website. I love the Harriet bonnet. Just love anything striped, to be honest. The serpent balaclava is really cool as well. The city hiker beanie, this seems like something I would need when cycling in the winter. It seems great. Also the minimum effort sock. I've been looking for a good sock pattern that's kind of ribbed but still like wearable, like not too chunky, so I would definitely have to save that for an upcoming project. Yeah, just so many amazing things. The Sierra balaclava is amazing. The trail balaclava, just all of the balaclavas, to be honest. I thought about making my own balaclava knits pattern, sort of like a similar thing to the Cosmaudi that I released, but knit. But I really struggled to make something that no one has done before, because there's some incredible like balaclava patterns out there, so I kind of left that to the professionals. Then someone mentioned the free Caron and Pantone knit stripes scarf pattern, and I went down in a massive rabbit hole ages ago into Yarnspirations pattern, and especially the Pantone collab patterns. This scarf is so cool. Like I said, I love anything stripy, but also the different colorways. The sort of rib pattern is really fun. It just seems like, yeah, an easy pattern but still funky and fun, and it's free. So if you're looking for something free and you're looking for a scarf, make this. Then we've got the lapel sweater in collaboration with Wool and the Gang. This is a super chunky garter stitch jumper using like really thick yarn. I love anything that Lapel does. I think I've gone down the rabbit hole before in one of my previous videos. I think in my scrap yarn video I spoke about her designs as inspo. This one, not my favorite, I can't lie. I would recommend to go on the Lapel website and have a look through. I love the use of garter stitch, the scrap yarn and colourful stripe projects. A lot of the projects seem quite chunky and fast and easy. Well, I don't know about easy, I haven't really followed that many patterns. Just really great for inspiration. So I would definitely recommend checking their website out. Then another pattern that I've never seen before is the Future MILF /DILF hooded knit pattern. This is so fun. I love a bit of colour work. I love text on a jumper. I really like the high, and then obviously the hood is incredible. So cool. I think this is a really funky pattern. Obviously the text, if you're good with duplicate stitching and stuff, you can just amend the text and have it say whatever, or you could just follow the pattern as is, like plain. I think the hood itself is such a feature that you don't even really need like a funky little bit of writing on the front. But yeah, if you're looking for something different, something a bit more funky, then this is definitely the jumper, the pattern to go for. Then speaking of good balaclavas, someone mentioned the balabonnet, and this is what I mean. Other people are already doing it. This is the perfect little bonnet with like a little bow detail at the front, but it just seems simple enough. It's really cute, and yeah, there's lots of color inspiration, stripy inspiration, whatever you want. Not much more to say. If you're looking to make a bonnet, this is a great bonnet to go for. Then I feel like we've been quite funky with these, so going back to something a bit more minimalistic, we have this Eon sweater, probably pronouncing this wrong, by November Knits, and this is really lovely. I love a split design. I think it makes things a lot easier to wear. It makes things a bit more boxy, a bit more airy. I also love the wide sleeves. It just seems like a really great piece for layering, and as with many of the patterns I've already mentioned, this is a lovely spin on a very basic design. I also really like the Rue sweater, actually. I love this high, sort of wider turtleneck. I think this is such a elegant, like timeless design. The sleeves are kind of in a split design. I think the main body would also be really nice to amend that to have that split similar to the previous pattern. But yeah, this seems really lovely. I'm making these types of videos very overwhelming because I'm exposed to so many incredible patterns, but I know I physically won't have the time to make all, if like a few of them even. It's so overwhelming. There's so many incredible patterns and designs out there. Apologies to any of the crocheters out there. This was very knit heavy so far. Let's chat a bit more crocheting. Someone mentioned basically all of Nastja Crochets. I completely agree. All of the designs are absolutely beautiful. Some of my favorites are this willow bag design. I love a good sort of lacy crochet design, but this especially kind of has a different feel and it looks super sturdy. The design seems really well thought out, where the bag has like a curve within the strap, if that makes sense. That just gives everything a bit more support rather than just being a square and then the straps up. This type of design is much better for sturdiness and stuff like that, so this is lovely. The Bloomin' bag, I'm pretty sure when I started getting into crochet, I have saved this many a times on my Pinterest board. This is so cute, especially the navy version with the colourful flowers on it. I've definitely come across multiple times. Again, this seems like a really well thought out bag design. The fact that it is square, but you have the side support and the bottom support, so it doesn't only just make it roomier, it just makes it a lot more sturdy. And And then we have the Lucy sweater, lovely little lacy design. I think my favorite version of this is the one in the first photo, like the striped one. It looks so cool. I think we've seen a lot of these lacy crochet designs, so I always love when I see one that, I don't know, surprises me and that has a bit of a different feel. Then we have the wisteria pillow pattern by Beck, and this is a great little pillow. I always think that home decor pieces with a knit and crochet aren't utilized enough. Like, this is such a cute little pillow to have. I just know if you have someone coming around and they see this on your sofa or on your bed, they'd be absolutely amazed. And again, as you can see by the photos, you know, of the testers, there's so many possibilities that you can make it in. The striped ones, the colorful ones. I especially love just the plain brown one. And you could also, yeah, experiment with the different types of yarn, something a bit more fuzzier, a mohair. Then I remember someone submitted that they were just in general looking for a chunky crochet sweater, and honestly I would send you straight to this designer, Cosmaudi. I think I'm so saying that wrong. Her patterns are incredible in general, but there are an amazing amount of crochet jumpers and cardigans that are different and really interesting. One of them is the lilac sweater. This looks incredible. It is really chunky and it just looks so interesting. Like, she has a really great use of stitches, different textures. You also have the Tempest sweater, lovely turtleneck, sort of a tapered arm, and you also have the Pulse sweater, which I love. Such a nice striped design. This one's more of a crew neck. If you're looking for a chunky crochet sweater design, I would just go straight there. That is everything for this video. I hope I shared some interesting patterns with you, maybe some patterns you haven't seen before, some patterns that you would be excited to make now. I am, as always, overwhelmed by all the designs that are out there, but I continue to look for more, and I just in general feel very inspired by the creativity by other designers and how familiar methods are reused in new and exciting designs. So yeah, thank you as always for watching. Hopefully I will see you next week for another video, and yeah, until then, goodbye.